Hey, Michelle.
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hold on. Welcome back to the channel, man. My name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs, man. This is just a little some All-Star Weekend review from my perspective, from my lens. I'm not gonna do the full weekend. I ain't even gonna do too much, honestly. Just want to talk about a couple things. Sabrina Ionescu versus Steph Curry. Obviously, I think that was the most talked about thing all weekend, and kind of for good reason. Or it makes sense. There's always like an added amount of attention when it's something that kind of like divides people, whether it's like in fighting, if you have like two people of different ethnicities or anything like that, like it becomes about that. Or say, like in this case it was the gender thing, so man versus woman, that people were kind of like going against and stuff like that. So, or gender, in the age and era of gender wars, I thought it was like the perfect mixture and storm of everything. And salute to Sabrina Ionescu for holding down her own 26 from NBA range, things of that nature. And salute to Steph Curry for defending his crown and trying to get back his 3-point crown and all-time record back. So yeah, shout out to both of them. It was a great shooting match, I thought. And Sabrina really got her message across, and so did the WNBA. So I thought the WNBA really came out winners here in the All-Star Weekend. The thing I really wanted to talk about tonight, the reason why I'm really making this video, another thing, it was very just funny seeing like the reactions of people, like, cause like this one dude was like, yeah, who cares about Sabrina or whatever, she's the best player, there's only like 5 other good players in the WNBA, there's like 50 in the NBA. And I'm like, dude, like she's not even the 3rd best player on her own team. I think a lot of people might assume Sabrina Ionescu is the face of the WNBA, or the best player in the WNBA. I think it's a better way to say it, because she is the person that's on the cover of 2K, and she's the person, who did this shootout with Steph Curry, and she matched head-to-head Imanu with the greatest shooter of all time. So, I can definitely see it, and I think that's why people are so adamant about other things when you talk about some of the other players. I remember a couple of years ago was Paige, when people were very adamant about like make sure other players get attention. Now it's like Caitlyn it's a person that people are like, okay, that's great, but make sure we pay attention to everybody, because you can have a situation like this, and you can have a situation like when Sue announced her retirement and Sylvia Fowles was retiring the same year, and one player got kind of everything until Twitter really bullied the league and everybody else to give Sylvia those appropriate flowers that she deserved on her farewell tour as well. I don't know, it just adds up. It's like the small things, and when you let the small things slide, they turn into large things, and that is the reason why. But when you look at things from a dense lens and the surface level perspective, you don't see that stuff. So that's my little piece on that. That's the first 4 minutes of the video. Let's get into the other part of the video. Larry Bird. So I'm watching the All-Star game, and this is the one thing that stuck out to me all night. I knew I was going to do my video about the All-Star Weekend on this primarily, because just thought it was like very interesting, and I looked it up, and I haven't read any of this stuff yet, so I was like, oh, I'll just read it on camera and everything like that with you guys. But yeah, Larry Bird, before the game, they're interviewing a bunch of players, and they interview Jason Tatum, and he said, yeah, I just met Larry Bird for the first time. I was very anxious, so I'm going to use a lot of that juice in this game. And I was like, like, and then Bird came out and did the Indy, start your engines. And, like, I was just thinking about how I always see Larry Bird at Indiana Pacers things, like he's kind of always around, whether he's at a practice or he's working in the front office, or he's obviously used to coach for them in the early 2000s. It just seems like he's kind of always around. Like he's not there all the time, and he's not like, you know what I'm saying, the most active person in the Pacers organization or anything, but Larry Bird is around. Like, you see him every now and again, kind of like Dr. J. Like, you don't see him at every single Sixers game, but you see him every now and again. He pops out every once in a while in Atlanta. He pops out every once in a while in Philly or to a random NBA game, and he always shows up every All-Star weekend and stuff like that. So I say that to say, like, that's what Larry Bird does to Indiana. But he's never done that with Boston. And this is his first time meeting Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has been the face of the Boston Celtics for the last 8 calendar years. Or, 8 calendar years. He was drafted in 16, correct? So, no, he might have been drafted in 17 because Lonzo was 17. But Tatum, hold on, let me see. I believe it was 16, but let me just double check. He was 17 because he was the draft with Lonzo. I'm glad I looked that up. Tatum's been the face of the Celtics for 7 calendar years now. And this is the first time he's ever met Larry Bird. They went to the NBA Finals, everything under the Celtics. This is his first time meeting him, which is just insane to me. So with that being said, I went and did a simple Google search, which we are going to look at right now. And my Google search was, why doesn't Larry Bird like the Boston Celtics? And the top thing that came up was a Reddit question saying, like, why don't the Celtics see Larry Bird? And yeah, it's on Reddit. So here we go. Okay, this has been deleted, but we'll see. Bird only briefly didn't work for the Pacers since he left Boston and works as a consultant again. All right, well, okay, sorry. Okay. Works as a consultant ever since he came back in June after about a year away. It probably wouldn't be a good look if he was cheering on a rival team. F. Rick Pitino. Couldn't agree much about Pitino. He's closed the door for someone like Bird coming in. Wait, hold on. I know y'all not telling me the reason why Larry Bird doesn't like the Boston Celtics is because Rick Pitino said Larry Bird ain't walking through that door. Rick Pitino ain't coached the Boston Celtics in over 20 years. I know y'all not pointing to that statement as the reason why Larry Bird doesn't come around the organization. All right, let's get back into this, man. Here we go. Okay. It's even worse than the hiring of Pitino led to Bird not being involved in the Celtics org because Larry Legend retired. He was a special assistant for the season until Pitino was hired in '97. A New York article's time. Pitino's arrival with near total control of the organization may have influenced Bird's decision to end an association with the Celtics that began in 1979 and produced 3 NBA titles in the 80s. College star athlete at Indiana State, Bird has never coached at any level. In recent interviews, he said that he was going to coach, this might as well be at the time. To be fair, Pitino, even though he doesn't deserve it, he did say he wanted Bird to be involved with the organization when he joined, and the Pacers gave Bird a great offer of $4.5 million a year, part ownership. Not sure if that actually happened though, and a guaranteed future front office role. But I don't think he would have left if we gave him a fraction of the $70 million we threw at Pitino. And Bird, being a loyal guy, probably hated how Pitino was pushing out red, so I'm sure that factored in as well. 7 M's. Yeah, Pitino signed a 10-year, $70 million deal, which made him the highest paid coach in any sport at the time. Larry Bird's not walking through that door. Pacers are a rival. Maybe I'm ignorant, but I don't see why they'd be considered a rival. I think, if anything, the time I'm thinking about is the early 2000s of Reggie Miller, Al Harrington, Jermaine O'Neal, those type of guys, Ron Artest, and Paul Pierce, and Antoine Walker. Like, if anything, like, that seemed like, they kind of do. They didn't mean rival in that sense. It's not a good look to be a part of anybody's sports club, to be seen publicly rooting for another club in the same league. Dwayne Wade does it all the time. Grant Hill, Shaq when he was a part owner of the Kings. put that in quotes because I don't think anybody consider it a real rivalry, but the Pacers and their fans see it differently. We've had some hard-fought playoff battles in the early 2000s. See, the last time the Pacers were legit contenders, and we beat them in 2019. The Knicks are their number one rival, but we are not far behind them. You're talking about the Celtics? Because we've been good for so long, there are a bunch of teams to see us as a rival who we don't even think about. What? Oh, the Knicks are the Pacers' number one rival. Okay. I was confused. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? He's been with the Pacers organization ever since he left the organization to go coach them. That's his team, and his loyalty is a big deal to him. Essentially, he decided to leave after the organization went with Rick Pitino and demoted Red's role and influence. He viewed the move as disloyalty to Red. Reason 104-27 why the Pitino era was absolutely atrocious. Okay. This seems like kind of, I guess this is just what they're saying is pretty much just like he didn't like the. Oh, here we go. Some people are more quiet about their quiet life. Okay, here you go. Now, he had a wicked split from the organization in the 90s, making it a relationship that's been irreparably broken, at least compared to his relationship with Indiana basketball. Legend had just retired, but had made overtures about wanting to be a coach, and where else would Bird coach if not the C's? But then that MFer Pitino had to come in and F it all up. Larry instead returns back to Indiana, immediately wins Coach of the Year, makes a final run, then transitioned into a successful stint as a front office manager, eventually winning Executive of the Year with the Pacers before retiring in 2012. He very well could have been enticed by the Celtics to stick around the org, but for some godforsaken reason, Boston chose Pitino and fell into a hole that couldn't be cleared until the KG trade at Pitino. But they said all of this, right? But there is no, you know what I mean? Like, they're saying all this about Pitino. That was 24 years ago. He still doesn't come around. So it's like, you know, so you're talking about Pitino and the way that they did Red Auerbach. Red Auerbach's been, God rest his soul, been going for 20 plus years, right? He's been almost 20 years. I believe he passed in 06, because I remember when Red passed. But say Red passed in 06, and, you know, the Pitino thing, he went on to coach Louisville, and now he's over at St. John's after getting caught in Louisville. Boom, boom, boom. Over 10 years. So, like, I'm still unsure of why. So here we go. This is from August 2023 from Fadeaway World. Shout out to Reddit for the last one. All right. Bird's presence at Fenway Park drew mass attention from fans seeking autographs. Bird's decision attending Red Sox games. Okay, so this is the Red Sox. All right, okay. So he said he stopped going to Red Sox games because he was just getting too much attention. So we hear that. Okay, you're getting too much attention. I get it. I was always a Cubs fan, but now I follow the Red Sox. All I've ever done is sign autographs for 3 hours each time. I never even got to sit in my seat. I go to baseball games all the time. If it weren't for those autograph requests, I don't feel like turning down fans for autographs, so I just don't go see the Red Sox anymore. What does that have to do with him not going to the Celtics? Okay, so I guess this is all we're going to get. So that's the reason why Larry Bird doesn't go to the Boston Celtics games. And, will Larry Bird join the... Wow, this is crazy. All right, this is September. Larry Bird was the leader of the Boston Celtics dynasty in the 1980s. He won 3 straight MVPs and guided the Celtics to 3 championships in the decade. He goes down as one of the top 2 franchise players in franchise history, and is arguably a top 5 player of all time. I got him in my top 10. If you know, you know. Hold on, where are we at? Recently on the Cedric Maxwell podcast, Maxwell, Bird's former teammate, stated he spoke with the former Detroit Pistons enforcer Rick Mahorn, who talked about the teams having reunions. He said the Pistons had one and suggested the Celtics should, but then implied that Bird would not want that to happen. Wow. It felt like some of Oh, Bird felt like some of his teammates turned on him after. Oh, okay. Cedric Maxwell won 2 championships with the Boston Celtics and was named MVP of the 1981 Finals. In February 1985, he tore his cartilage in the knee and had surgery. His original timetable was 4 weeks, but he remained out much longer. In his book, If These Walls Could Talk, Maxwell said the injury seemed to create a problem with his teammates. Once I got hurt, everything changed, especially my relationship with the team and my teammates. It was a really eye-opening experience for me. It started from the top with Red. He'd make comments about how he'd think I wasn't working hard enough to come back and how my motivation wasn't the same because I was making some money. Maxwell said Bird and some other teammates felt the same way. Bird and some other teammates felt like I didn't want to come back. That really hurt me. Here's a guy I grew up and won championships with, so yeah, that stung. That was probably my lowest moment, just being hurt and people not understanding I was hurt. During Maxwell's podcast, Maxwell spoke about having Mahorn as a previous guest. He said it was Mahorn began talking about reunions. He said the 3 teams that needed to have a reunion were the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Pistons. Maxwell told Jose Pavan, co-host Jose Pavan of the Cedric Maxwell podcast, the Pistons had one, the Lakers didn't. He then went on and said the Bulls should definitely have one, but he said their 2 best players don't get along. Then he made a point of saying, why don't the Celtics have one? Then he chimed in and said, maybe because their best player, Larry Bird, doesn't want to talk to any of them. I don't know if that's true. I would hope that Larry feels a certain way about us. You win multiple championships with the guys. It's hard to dislike the people that you played with. Pavan jumped in and said he believes Bird is a guy who likes to keep to himself, and people take that personally. He said, Bird is just someone who probably thinks no reunion is necessary. Pavan then asked Maxwell if he took to him not liking his former teammates. I don't know, Max admitted. I guess I've never been together with a bunch of those guys, and we were all clamoring, I think, to get together. Everybody pretty much I talked to, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, ML Carr, Nate Archibald, and Gerald Henderson. A lot of people are clamoring just to get together. Wow. So why not do it? Just get together then. Let me see if we got anything else. Oh, there's a video about this. Is Larry Bird preventing the Celtics reunion? Should I watch this? No, I ain't gonna watch it. Can't get no copyright. Uh-oh. I never against root against Boston teams, even if he is part of the opposition. There's no sports city like Boston. I know how much sports mean to them. Okay. When's the last time he's been to a Celtics game? Larry Bird may be one of the best players according to all NBA fans, but in Boston, his legend is much greater than that. Okay. While Bird is associated with Boston, he's not originally from here. Okay. Indiana claims Bird is one of their own, but his time in Boston led to him becoming synonymous with the city. During speaking, so he was speaking in 2015. He revealed that while he grew up a fan of Indiana teams, his allegiance has grown over his career. Larry Legend explained that even when he was an executive competing against the Celtics, he couldn't bring himself to root against them or indeed any franchise. I never root against the Indiana Pacers, the Boston teams. There's no sports town. I don't care where you go. They talk about Chicago and Philadelphia. No, they don't compare to Boston. I mean, there's ladies in their 90s that can name every player on the Red Sox and Patriots teams. You just don't have it anywhere like that. It's unbelievable out here. And my gratitude to these fans, I never root against them. Love for Boston is one of the wholesome things, and his time with Boston's become fruitful with the Celtics, Red Sox, and Patriots all winning multiple championships since Bird's relationship began. Like seeing him win. Okay. Salute. So he said that about Boston and things like that. Let me see. Is there I want to see a picture of Larry Bird at a Celtics game. That's what I want to see. Larry Bird at Celtics game. Mans ain't been to one. I don't know, just something interesting. Y'all could let me know what y'all think. But yeah, I think that's pretty weird. I think that's kind of weird. And it's something that's not really discussed on a national level. Like, I think obviously it's talked about a lot in the local kind of New England market area, but I don't think many people discuss that on a national level until tonight. Let me see. Let me think. Let me see. Is there anything else? Anything else? Anything else? I'm scrolling. I'm looking right now, y'all. I don't think there's anything else in this. I don't think there's anything else in this. All right. Well, if you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs. Thank you so much for watching this tonight, and take care of yourselves. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Peace out.